Sat here today, 18th of February 2025, on this beautiful flight to Dubai, sitting in Emirates first class. And it's funny, and I literally just turned on my camera because I was, you know when your iPhone makes you go through and like show you like the years in the past. I was looking at I was looking back 4 years ago, when I was back in uni, and like seeing images like this, 16th of February 2021. My sink was clogged at my university flat. Or 18th of February, exactly 4 years ago today, there's a Polaroid picture of one of my friends at university drinking a Strongbow cider out of a shoe. And yeah, that is what I was doing 4 years ago today. I was living life as a university student with flatmates that were constantly drinking, partying, doing drugs, and I wasn't doing drugs, but I was doing the same. I was partying and drinking. I made the decision the year after to leave university. And I actually ended university in June 2022 is when I graduated. I left university 1 year later. And I don't remember that exact moment. But, looking at what I was doing back then, I must have had a kind of series of events which made me just think and realize that, why am I here at uni? Drinking, partying, staying up till 2, 3 a.m. like I was in that picture, hanging about and messing around, when I run a business. I run a business that has the opportunity to be incredibly successful. Why am I doing this? And it's just, I hadn't seen those photos in so long, and it's just kind of crazy that they popped up. But yeah, I decided one day, I took the leap and I emailed my university professors and I decided, time to leave, and I left. And I think they gave me the option of deferring a year, or they gave me the option of just dropping out full time and taking a general degree. So you can get a general degree or an honours degree in the UK. I still got a degree, I still ended up getting a degree. I've got a diploma, but I got a general degree instead of an honours degree. And then I ended up graduating from university in June 2022 after my third year of university. I decided enough is enough. I'm not going to do this. And the main reason I think behind this is because there's something that Charlie Morgan said in a recent video that I watched, and it resonated to me, is something about exponential focus. When your mind is only focused on one single thing, you get that level of exponentiality where you can have so much more success in that one thing than if you were trying to split your focus and focus on this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. And it's why he says, he doesn't watch Netflix series because people get too invested in the drama. And for me, I had split focus. I was trying to do university, right? I was trying to do my university work. I was trying to have a social life and party and do all the classic university guy things and drink and hang out with my mates and whatever, and run a business. And my focus was split 3, maybe 4 ways. And that split focus meant that I stunted the growth of my agency. I wasn't able to grow it to the point that I probably could have. And I think I realized that, do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to keep stunting the growth of my agency to just have more fun in university? Why am I having fun in university? I don't need to. I have a business that can build me the life that I want to in the future. Why not just take the plunge now? And I think that was the reason, because I knew that going into my 4th year, it would not be possible to do both without one thing suffering heavily. And did I want to half-ass university? No. Did I want to half-ass my business? Absolutely not. So something had to change, and I had to go ahead and do that right away. And yeah, I think people probably doubted the decision. And they were like, why are you leaving now? You've only got 1 year left. But for me, the fact that I was getting the degree anyway made it a no-brainer, right? I didn't need that 4th year. I think I had so much conviction in myself that I could make my business more successful if I had left. And then I wouldn't need that degree anyway. I wouldn't need that extra honours degree. Like, I already had one. So I was like, needs to be done. And despite people doubting me, it was just mostly friends and people at university that were like, what's the point? You shouldn't bother doing it. I think my parents were very supportive of the decision. I got it done. And, I had some fears and I had some worries that, was this the right decision? But I think overall, I backed myself enough to the fact that this was going to work out. And ultimately, it has now, right? But, there is always that little scary voice and scary decision in the back of your head. And yeah, it was very new, because it was the first time that I started actually working on the business full time. Obviously, I've been working on the business part time and just kind of keeping it small, but it really was like, how do we actually now start scaling? And the big obstacles that really came were just like hiring people. And I hired a number of people that didn't work out, weren't particularly good, didn't have the right sort of requirements for the business. I was very naive. I had no idea actually what made a good employee, how to set up KPIs, how to make people kind of work towards your standards, how to manage those people. And that was, I think, was the first big obstacle. And it was like, can I actually do this? Do I have it in me, and am I good enough to make this happen? And I kind of felt like, should I just keep this business as a lifestyle company and just not bother growing it? And I did, frankly, keep it as a lifestyle business for another year. But, I always knew that I wanted more. I always knew that I could potentially turn this into something significantly bigger than it was. But yeah, I think in that year, obviously, like, I'd been running the business for, I want to say 2 or 3 years before this. So it wasn't all brand new, but I think in that year of 2022, we had some pretty significant like wins that kind of reaffirmed to me that like, damn, we can do this. We had one client that I think paid us $300,000 just for like 2 campaigns in that year. Actually, it was Asus, partnered with Stephen Bartlett. Actually, yes, it was 2022, partnered with Stephen Bartlett on that Asus collaboration. And we got, I think, $300,000, not just for that deal, but across the board from all of those deals. And I was like, okay, we can do this, because we were pitching against some other massive agencies. We were like a 3 to 5 person team max, I think, at that time. And that was just like, this can work. I have the abilities to get big clients. Now, how the hell do I go ahead and make this a much bigger success than I would want to? Because the previous 3 years were just kind of like trial and error and just doing things, and I don't really have any good data behind me. So it's like, how do I actually turn this into much more of a mature company now over the next 2, 3, 4, 5, however many years into the future? And yeah, I think at this stage, I think we're probably doing around £1 million in revenue a year, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 800, 900K in revenue a year already, because we were lucky to have the COVID boom. I honestly, I didn't have to, and I've talked about this in other videos where I, didn't really grow the business that massively, but the business did still grow in 2021, 2022, because we had this COVID boom where budgets were just flowing into the influencer marketing space. So we were already doing, like 70, 80, 90K per month at this point. But then it was all about, how do we then go around and scale this to something more significant? And quite frankly, I wasn't able to do that for a while. I mean, the business plateaued from 2022 into 2023. It was only really in September 2023 where I got my shit together and was like, right, now I just really need to work this out. So I did 2 key things. I hired an older guy who's now 40 to be my operations lead. A guy who's done multiple bits of marketing and operations at a variety of other companies, and came in, and I said to him, like, look, this is the issue we have. I need someone to kind of like be my right hand and help me with the team and help me with like the day-to-day delivery, so I can focus on sales and growth and strategy. And I hired an advisor, who both are still with me to this day and helping me scale. And those 2 key things were a kind of inflection point for where the business has gone. Because previously, I was running it as a lifestyle business. Then I had a period of area where I couldn't really grow it that much more, even after I'd left uni. And then I made these 2 decisions which had an inflection. Reason for these 2 things having such a key impact was, 1, I had someone who I could just delegate all the operation system stuff to and say, you go work this stuff out that I've been trying to implement, I don't know how to do it and don't have enough time, and you go do it, you go work it out, and you hold the team accountable to it. And 2, I had an advisor who previously had sold an agency for £37 million, who had built his company to 270 people at its prime. And that knowledge that someone of that caliber has is invaluable. He has basically been through all of the growing pains that I have been through, and knows exactly the steps to take from a 5-person to a 10-person to a 15 to a 20 to a 50 to a 100-person business, how to retain clients, what services to offer, how to roll up different things, what are the key hires. And it was like just expediting my success, being able to tap into someone's knowledge, right? Being able to tap into someone who knows exactly what they're talking about and has been there and done that, and seep all of that knowledge into my brain without having to work it out myself. Because the whole previous 4 years, I just been working shit out for myself. Like, I just been working out, how do I do this? Trying and failing, trial and error, which is why I had taken so incredibly long, whilst also obviously having my split focus that I had. So maybe like halfway through last year, after making these changes and after implementing these things, we'd had a fantastic 6 months in a row, and I was like, wow, have I done this? And it's not that I thought that I made it by any senses of like, the business had grown massively in those 6 months. We'd expanded the team massively. We'd hired like a bunch of more people, like 2 or 3 more people, which is a lot for us at the time. I'd made more money with the business than I'd ever done before. And whilst obviously I wasn't keeping it or spending it on myself like before as a lifestyle company, if I just keep the business at this size and making this much money per month and it can all be mine, have I made it? And like, in reflection and like looking back on it, I haven't. I don't think I've made it at all. I am such a small fish. I'm still tiny in the grand scheme of things. There are agencies out there that are so much bigger than I am, and just businesses in general that are so much bigger than I am. I've got some relative success for my age, for sure. I cannot say I don't. But have I made it to any degree? No. And I am, the only thing that I think to myself now is that I have made it to this stage and got past this chapter. Now, what does chapter 3 to 99 now look like, or whatever it is, right? What are all those next stages and steps that I have to go through to get to that next kind of chapter that I am? But now the business is in a situation in place where, we're doing $4 million per year. I actually looked at the stats of the company, and in February, we will do, I'm just trying to do the maths on it, we'll do $420,000 in revenue in a single month. And if we were to keep that up, that would be $5 million in revenue. We do about $4 million a year in revenue, but if we were to keep up these numbers, that could be $5 million per year in revenue. And it's just crazy. And I'm gonna get my phone back out. It's just crazy to like look at that, right? And then scroll back to 2021 and see my clogged sink that I don't know what was going on there, and seeing me partying and doing crazy stuff at this point. And it is just like mental to see the difference of Suhit Amin in 2021 trying to be this like weird, edgy hipster guy, like going to the gym in a garage, vs now having a business that does $4 million a year and is going to do $420,000 in just February this year alone. It's pretty mental, like, transition of how it's happened. And as I say, I think the inflection point was just getting someone to support me in like that day-to-day operations, to try and remove myself as much as possible. Not that I'm fully removed by any means, but someone with more experience, and getting a mentor really has been undoubtedly, and I think my ego was too big in the past to like think that I ever needed it. I was like, I can just work it all out myself. I can just do it all myself. And I think I was so stupid for thinking that, to be frankly honest. It's like, now seeing the successes that I've had after meeting this guy, Simon, who's my mentor, it's like, if only I had just paid for a service like this 3 years ago, where could my business be? If only I had paid for advice from someone who was successful, where could I be right now? It's just been a crazy journey. I've had some phenomenal experiences, like this is one of them, being able to get on this 8-hour flight in first class, to Dubai, one of the hottest spots in the world right now. I'm going to Dubai, and I think I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm filming with some huge influencers out there, one that's got a combined following of like 25 or so million, meeting with some successful entrepreneurs out there that I know. I've traveled to like 30 plus countries in the world myself, I think, something like that. I've been exposed to huge networks and huge successes of celebrities, bought myself a supercar, got multiple Rolexes and watches. There's so many crazy experiences that I've had due to this business. And some of the best things are like retiring my mum. My mum doesn't work anymore because I am now able to send her money every month, and she doesn't have to work. She does what she wants. She's now being able to focus on her health because she neglected her health and her fitness for a long time in her life. And it's just incredible to be able to see that, like, this journey has been one of the reasons for that transition for her as well. But yeah, I've just told you all the good things and I'm sitting here, but people often just think that it's like the easiest thing ever and being successful is amazing. And I've got a bunch of raw videos on my channel about how it really isn't the case. And you look at all these successful guys, and a lot of them tell you, all you see is a highlight reel. It's really not this glamorous. Like, this is the one exciting thing I have done in like 4 or 5 months. My days are wake up at 8, start work at 9:30, go to the gym, eat, and go to bed at 11:30. And it's just work, non-stop. I don't get time to switch off. I don't get time to think about anything else. I dream about work in my sleep. I wake up and I'm thinking about work. The first thing I do is I check my emails, check my Slack. Everything revolves around business and the greater vision. I physically cannot switch my brain off, okay? And I'm sure many other successful people can, and they're at that stage, but the stage that I'm at, and the kind of what I'm trying to achieve in my business and the scale, I cannot do that. And I sit and I work and I slave away for myself, but I'm obviously slaving away for myself every single day. Everyone else, they clock off at 5 p.m., do whatever they want. The weekends, I work the weekends. I work every single day. And it's treacherous, really. It is brain numbing. It is so mentally taxing, and everyone just thinks that it's the best thing ever to be successful and all this, and go to Dubai and go Cape Town and go US and blah blah whatever. And yeah, that's the reward that comes with it, and none of that reward comes without all of this other shit that you have to deal with and go through. A lot of the guys who follow me are wanting to live this life that I live, and when we were in uni, a lot of the guys actually that I mentor myself right now are in university or leaving university. In terms of like advice, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, should I go to university, should I stay? And I do think university is a great place, and I think it serves its purpose. I'm very different to these other online, I don't want to call myself a guru, but like online gurus that drop out of high school, join my course, pretty much. Drop out of university, join my course. And I'm very different to them. I think the university serves its purpose. I have one team member actually who was going to quit university to come work full time for me, and I kept telling him, don't do that. Like, finish your university. Even if you don't finish it all the way, finish it to some degree, like I did, and get a general degree. And I think that if you are in university is a fantastic place. You can make lifelong friends. You can get a true experience of being independent from other people. I would leave home to go to university and I would meet other people, but I would try to do something, because university is like a very foundational time. You have opportunities to do so many things in university where you don't have non-stop work or classes every single day. You can start trying to build something on the side and use university and all the knowledge and independence you get there, plus the extra time, to start trying to build something on the side. But don't shit on university, don't shit on that experience. Still enjoy it for sure. And then when you're ready, when you're at the stage like I was in my second year of university, like, now I can just really grow the business, then make that decision. Don't just not go because you see Iman Ghazi flexing and saying that university is crap and he never went to it and he just became a multi-millionaire. He's like the top 0.1%. For the majority of you, that's not going to happen, right? And I'm sorry to say this, for the majority of you, you're not going to be like Iman. You're not going to be like Tate. You're not going to be even like me, maybe. And I'm not even that special. So it's still important to have those other foundations and do those other things, because majority of you are not going to get there. So if you have university as that backup option and you can build something on the side, fantastic. You get the best of both worlds. But if there is any like advice that I would say is like, I wouldn't do what I did in terms of like, I wouldn't party excessively, party, go out every so often, live a little. But I definitely would do a lot of things differently now from before. And a couple of things that I would do and I would say is just, I wouldn't be surrounding myself with the same type of people that I was at university. Surround yourself with other good, ambitious people. I also wouldn't travel as much and spend as much money on travel, and I would focus down a lot more of my time. So my split focus was still having a high proportion of focus towards my business. And I would also get help from experienced people much earlier than I did in my own journey. Because in my own journey, I waited until September 2023, and I was running the business in 2018. I lost out in 5 years. 5 whole years of knowledge from someone well experienced. And if I had just had that plugged into my company from day one, my growth could have been far, far higher. So I think that's what I would do. I would also focus really heavily on like tracking data and systems. Didn't do that for like the first 4 or 5 years. Had no idea of any of the numbers or data in my business. Getting those things straight, super important. And those are some of the things that I regret and would do differently, but they're more business related, not necessarily like personal lifestyle, universal related, but those are some key things that I think that if you are watching this channel and you do have ambitions to start a business, do you have ambitions to go from where I was 4 years ago as a university student to where you're at right now, cut out the negativity, still enjoy your life, still do live a little, still have that fun, but don't fall too far into the kind of trap of that, and also get very, very clear on your data, your numbers, and getting help early on, because it's only going to expedite your progress. You can either waste 10 years like me trying to figure it all out for yourself, or you could pay a little bit of money and work it all out within 6 months to a year. But I also think like on that mentoring thing, like you need to find someone like valuable who's actually going to help you, because I think a lot of people make the mistake of watching content online like this, or watching your Emans or Jordans and thinking it's so easy. It's not easy at all, and you need to have someone that tells you that the real truth behind it. It can be easy and you can make it easy, but it's really not going to be that case. So you need to find the right mentor, the right type of person who can help you on that journey. And I did. And the guy that I work with isn't an online guru or anything. He's like he's not really anybody big online. He's a legitimate businessman that has built his agency, and he's a agency owner and an entrepreneur first, and then is supporting other people on the side. But also understand that it's not going to be easy, and it's actually probably going to take a lot longer and be harder than you think, and prepare yourself for that journey. But it's a fantastic journey, and if you want to get into influencer marketing like I did, it's a fantastic space, and it's so enjoyable and so valuable compared to other business models. If you want to like learn more about my journey and learn more about like how I did it, what I did, I've got tons of other content on this channel. So if the first time you discover me, I would highly suggest checking out some other videos on the channel. And I've not really talked very much about what I do, but obviously I do influencer marketing. I run an influencer marketing agency. I run a $4 million per year influencer marketing agency. That's what I've been doing for the last 6.5 years. We have clients like Ubisoft, Asus, Acer, Netflix, Shure Microphones, some of the biggest brands in the world. And that's pretty much what I do to this day. And if you're interested in getting into that space, because it's a very interesting market, right? It's not like your traditional social media marketing agency. It's similar to social media marketing, but you get to work with the biggest influencers and create very exciting and engaging campaigns working with your favorite content creators. And I think if you're interested in getting to that space, the first step to take really is just, one, building a network and start trying to networking with influencers online, because the network of influencers is going to be a very valuable asset. And 2, just learning and gaining knowledge. And the easiest way you can do that is I released about 7 months ago from when I'm putting this video out, a 1-hour fully free course on my YouTube channel, where I just talk about the fundamentals and walk through exactly how to start build an influencer marketing agency, get your first deal. I released it. It's free on the channel. You can go and find it wherever you want. It should be somewhere up on the screen here. It'll be in the description. And I hope that brings you value, and you can learn all about the business model that's like landed me this life where I can kind of come into first class and has taken me from this weird uni student to where I am now. And you basically should go ahead and check that out. So, I really appreciate you watching this video. I believe in you. I believe in you, in your journey. I've done it. I've gone through the worst. I didn't even talk about my cancer back in the day, but I've gone through cancer. I've gone through, pretty excessive partying phase at uni, and I've made it out here. So whatever situation you're in, I believe in you, and I believe that you can achieve whatever you want. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please leave a comment, and I urge you right now, this minute, to take action.